We've had a lot of people ask with my videos recently what my credentials are for giving this sort of advice. And so I've been encouraged by many folks online and many people in my gym to explain my background in combat sports, if you will. And videos like this are a little weird for me because I always feel like I'm bragging or I'm trying to make myself out to be something that I really don't view myself as. But just to give a little bit of background, because it does seem to be important to people, I want to go through just briefly and kind of a surface level view of my history in martial arts and combat sports in general. So I started martial arts in Kernersville, North Carolina in 1995 when I was 8 years old. And when I say I started, I became obsessed with it. I didn't just go once or twice a week or every other week. I went 4 to 5 days a week, to the point that my martial arts instructor, who was my coach for many, many years, I essentially lived in his house many, many days. I was homeschooled because I have dyslexia and ADHD. And so my mom put a lot of time and effort into that. And physical activity helped me actually do better in school with paperwork and tests and studying for that stuff. So I spent a lot of time at the gym doing that 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day sometimes, and just immersed myself in it. The style that I started with could be called a combination of martial arts, kickboxing, and karate. In fact, I remember the first time we learned elbows and knees and kicks because the UFC was becoming more and more prevalent inside that. And then we started working on grappling, but we didn't do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we did Russian Sambo. And then we added in BJJ over the years and so on and so forth. I received my first black belt in a style called American martial arts when I was 12 years old after 4 years of training. And I had my youth black belt, all right, or we call it a junior black belt. Then at 15, I received my first adult black belt in that same style. Shortly thereafter, I received a black belt at 18 under a guy named Joe Louis, not the boxer, but the kickboxer. He was very famous in the late 70s, early 80s, and beyond as one of the most prevalent heavyweight kickboxers. And him, Bill Wallace, Benny the Jet, Don the Dragon, all those guys really paved the way for MMA and different combat sports as we know it. And so I trained a lot with Joe. Now today I hold a 4th degree black belt under Joe Louis. I hold a 6th degree black belt in American martial arts systems. I hold a 3rd degree black belt in Taekwondo. I hold a 2nd degree black belt in Krav Maga, and I hold a 1st degree black belt in several other styles that I've trained in over the years now for 31 years. During that time, when I was 15, I had my first sanctioned match as a kickboxer. And through my career in kickboxing, I kickboxed for the IKF and a league now that I don't believe is around anymore called the WKKO, and then also the Joe Louis Fighting Systems Kickboxing Organization. So those are the three kind of tournaments or organizations that I frequented, and my record in kickboxing, I believe, was something like 37-1, somewhere around there. I won East Coast titles, national titles, international titles, and in the IKF, in the full contact, which means kicks and punches from the waist up, not Muay Thai or international rules, I won the heavyweight world championship as well as a couple other prestigious titles from them. And in the WKKO, I was the #1 rated kickboxer with them, amateur, in the world. I did a few amateur boxing matches, not many. Honestly, I had really bad luck with my fighters not showing up. So I believe I actually only had 2 or 3 matches that were sanctioned, although I had several walkovers, but I don't really like to count those in my record. And then I competed in 5 tough man tournaments, or they're like a semi-pro match. It's 3 1-minute rounds. You guys have probably heard of it. I won all 5 of those as the most you can win. It got a really cool letter from the state senator at that time that I posted up on my wall congratulating me for winning all 5. I went undefeated in those tournaments. And then shortly after that, at 23, I turned pro in professional boxing. Now, my record as a professional boxer is 20 wins against 4 losses, and I've fought anybody from what we call fish fighters or club fighters, people that you build your record on, all the way up to like some really good up and coming guys, people that have gone on to challenge for world titles. During that time, I got the privilege of training with Vladimir Klitschko as one of his sparring partners for multiple camps. Dillian White and I trained probably together as sparring partners for 5 or 6 camps. I went down to the heavyweight factory and got to train next to guys like Shannon Briggs and work with people like Luis Ortiz as their primary sparring partner. And even though I was not the best boxer as a professional, I did very well for myself. My highest rating was I got to the top 20 in the US and got to the top 25 in the world in the IBO, which is where I held my highest ranking title in professional boxing. So I did fairly well as that. I would classify myself as a B+ fighter. A+ guys being like Muhammad Ali, Vladimir Klitschko, Lennox Lewis. Those guys, I was never that good. I'm not going to lie to you guys, but I did get very good, and I was well known in certain boxing circles, especially along the East Coast there for some time. Currently, I'm actually training for another match that I'm hoping to have on October 3rd, where I'll be continuing on in what's called my retirement run. Last year, I had my first fight in several years. I won it. It was great. I had a lot of fun, and so this fight might be my very last one. Maybe I'll do 1 or 2 more, but this retirement fun is more about having fights that are challenging and fun and are great fights to kind of go out on, not necessarily going for big titles or trying to make a championship run. I'm 39 years old now, so my time kind of to climb the ranks is over, but during that time, I got to be trained by some really, really prestigious coaches. Probably one of the biggest ones that you guys would know is Jonathan Banks, who was Vladimir Klitschko's trainer for his last several fights. He trained Gennady Golovkin for a time and several other world-class boxers, and him and I are still good friends to this day. So I'm incredibly thankful for my time in combat arts, for my time in martial arts, professional, amateur fights. Most of my best friends and lifelong friendships have come from these experiences that I've had. Currently, my highest belt rank that I hold is a 7th degree black belt. I plan to carry that on until I get my 10th degree black belt, and I'll probably be about 60 years old or so by the time I do that. And I'm just incredibly thankful and excited about what martial arts has given me, and my passion and kind of the mission of our gym in general is to empower other people to live healthy and secure lives. And we do that through fitness and martial arts. And so my side of that predominantly is the combat aspect. And there's nothing better to me personally than seeing someone gain confidence, gain a little bit of that power back in their mind. I've had the very, very large privilege of working with probably a couple dozen females over my career who have unfortunately been sexually assaulted or had attempted sexual assaults on them, and learning to defend themselves has given them back that power, and the feeling that you get being able to contribute to that, to contribute to that wellness of life is massive, and I can't explain it. The same thing when you're working with a grandfather or a grandmother who is the sole provider for their grandkids, and they want to be fit but also be able to protect them, or someone who's changing their life around and they're getting out of an addiction, and so they've turned their mind to boxing or kickboxing and they've dove into that for the mental focus and the clarity, or a person who's eat up with stress and just can't get through the day, and then they come to the gym and for an hour everything's better. Those are the things and the reasons why I do these videos and why we do the classes, because people, I believe, have a God-given right to live a life that is both healthy and secure, and we want to pass that along. So that's a little bit about me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I look forward to putting out more and more.